Hello, hope I'm doing well. And today we're talking about the War Archives, aka that little notification you get every day and you ignore because they didn't think there was anything good in it. Or maybe you've already done everything in it. I don't know. But let's just go over what it is. So it's a collection of the old events that have run twice. So they've had their original run, a rerun, then they'll have a temporary rate up for about a week, and then they'll be added to War Archives. Most ships will be added into the permanent pools. Some will be available in the shops, some will be available in event stages. We're going to look at the stages. Now, whatever progress you made, so here it is, the War Archives, a little red icon. I know some people get very irritated seeing any kind of notification like this in games. Me, not so much, but it's there. Whatever progress you make during an event will carry over into the War Archive, so you don't have to worry about completely restarting. Any progress you made in the story will still be maintained in the memories, so you can just read the story. This is good for finishing the story if you want to read the story. One day I will get around to making story videos, not today. And there was a change around April of 2022 where you only need to do one clear of a map to get 100% and move on to the next stage. So let's pick this one. Let's say I'm going through here and it's a real pain. I'd say I didn't do any yet. I'd have to do, the four clears whatever to do this, move on to C2, so on and so forth. Now, you just have to do one, boom, 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 knock them out real fast, and it makes getting to farming a stage you want a lot easier, a lot nicer. So I'm glad for that. Now, to do a stage, you need these data cards here. You get 4 per day, so I hit collect. Bada bing, bada boom, data key. Grants access. You can hold it to 60, so 56 out of 60. Getting kind of full, but I also haven't been collecting them. And you need to use one per run. It used to be one per every 15 minutes. So you ideally get multiple runs in those 15 minutes. They changed it, make it simpler. One per run. There you go. You can also use the times 2 clear reward. Use the times 2 oil, times 2 rewards. On these stages, it does not use 2 of the keys. There's also oil cap and clearing mode bonuses for all these EX stages. They're just the big events. Mostly for D3 or whatever the last stage is. So sometimes they only go to D2 or whatever. And then for SP stages, it should be only Passionate Polaris and Universe and Unison that have clearing mode available. Now you may notice under these event banners, it has a ship, some gear. So the first ship on the left with the little star and there's a bar underneath it. So you see like Suikaku have a little progress. Most don't have any progress. Where's No Shiro? No Shiro, I have a lot of progress. I was almost done with her, and then she came from the light pool. So once you do 60 clears, you can get whatever ship it is. Some stages it's gear. So let's see, Passionate Polaris has gear. Universe Newson has gear. Just be aware that the times 2 oil times 2 reward thing does not count as an extra clear. So if you do one clear with the times 2 rewards, you get twice the rewards, but not twice the clears. So as for what I would recommend farming in here, most of the time it's going to be D3 or whatever the last stage is. There's a couple exceptions, but I'm just going to go over the highlights because some of these don't show like the rare ships that are available, or sorry, the elite ships that are available that you can also get that I think are somewhat useful. I'll have the full list, the wiki page, I'll have the wiki page in the description, so you can go check out everyone that's there because there's plenty of collection ships you can grab. There's a lot of German ships in it for the War Archive, so that's why I recommend doing them. So for Visitor Side in red, definitely Suikaku and the Ryusei, both from D3. Suikaku is pretty good for boss fleets, and then the Ryusei is a really good torpedo bomber if you have a slower for your carriers. Winter's Crown, Duke of York, very good for battleship fleets. She applies a slow and a damage increase. A bit overtaken by someone in the next event we're going to talk about, but she's still pretty decent, and she's Royal Navy's user for farming those ships in PR, or if you just like Royal Navy ships, you like her design. Fallen Wings, you can get North Carolina and West Virginia, as well as the Steam Catapult. Steam Catapult is very good for carriers. Pretty much you want to have just a ton of them all leveled up. And I'd say actually West Virginia is now better than North Carolina because she has a retrofit, which she gets a skill that basically takes all of Duke of York's kit and slaps it onto one skill of West Virginia. So West Virginia, very good for buffing battleships, battle cruisers, just those two. And North Carolina is not terrible. She's just a pretty standard battleship, nothing too standout. She's good for AA. She scales her firepower slightly off her AA, so she's a slight buff to it. So you want to run good AA stuff on her. And also she has that bunny girl skin she finally got after ages. After ages. Over in chessboard, you can get Z46. Pretty decent with after her augment gear. And you also get Prinz Eugen, Scharnhorst, Knights out in D3. And for Iris the Light and Dark, you can get Le Triumphant from D3 as well as the John Bart gun. Now this gun is only good for John Bart for the most part. That's the only place I see it used, and you can get it from the one of the shops, I think Cordata. If you want to save your Cordata, get it here. You can grab it here. Le Triumphant, nothing too spectacular there. You can use it for is unlocking Breast, as well as farming Breast. So that's a good option. But D2 has the Baguette gun right here. This is a really good DD gun. My one complaint with it's HE, which is fine, but its shot pattern is kind of scattershot, so it might miss quite a bit. So be aware of that, but it's quite good. Next up is Ink Stained Steel Sakura. You can get some ships that are also available in shops, but you can get them here as well if you want to save your currency, or you don't have the currency. As well as a Steam Catapult. Kamikaze from, I believe she is D2. Yes. She's really good for killing cruisers, and her torpedoes ignore armor types. Yeah, quite good if you don't have like Shimikaze. Kawakaze is also really good. Crimson Echoes, nothing too much to recommend here. You can get Kaga in her BB variant. I don't have her yet, so for collection, I'm going to grab her at some point, but nothing too standoutish. If you really like Kaga, get another Kaga. I believe the mates are their skins can transfer over, so you can have two Kagas in the same fleet with the same skins. That's pretty cool. You also get Harukaze and Scourge of Iron Blood. You get King George V. Nothing too standoutish. She likes being Royal Navy fleets. That's about it. You can also get Shard Horse and Ice now here too as well. Get those for your farming FTG, Odin, August von Percival. Let's get Echo. Want to get Echo. Imperial Tragic Comedy, get Latorio. Latorio's not terrible. She provides a shield for herself and your Vanguard ship, whoever's in the frontmost position of it. But she wants to use the Latorio gun, which is based off the actual gun they had equipped, which they wore out the lining so fast that they made that accurate in Azur Lane, so after 3 sorties, her damage drops off. Her augment gear makes her a bit better, so she doesn't need to use that specifically. Make her barrage better. And Conte de Cavor, also here. The Zara gun is in here. This is quite good for medium armor enemies, or your heavy cruisers to use. Ashen Simacraucum. Kavala. Highly recommend getting Kavala. If you need a submarine fleet, she's a good start. Get her, get Albacore. If you manage to grab Archerfish, and that's a really good combo there. Archerfish can buff their damage, Kavala buffs survivability, and you'll be good to go. Also, you can kind of tell, but she's doing the funny gun point at the viewer meme. So that's why I like about her. Next up is Swirling Cherry Blossoms. You can get Noshiro. She's pretty much the go-to for torpedo fleets. So if you want to have your torpedo users do a ton more damage, here you go. Use Noshiro, use Ayanami, you can throw Jinsu in there if you want. Yeah, really, really potent. I made the mistake of, well, I was starting a new job at the time. I believe it was the rerun for this event. Maybe it was the original one, but I skipped this event entirely. So I didn't get Noshiro, I didn't get Ryujo, and I was definitely missing out for a while. So definitely recommend getting Noshiro. Quite potent. Next up is Microlayer Medley. You can get Bremerton, and that's about all here. Quite like her, most because, she is a Lulu variant, but also a very good tank, so I use her all the time for that. She's got 2 barrages, so that's quite nice. So yeah, Bremerton, quite good. Decent holdover until you get Anchorage if you want to go with Eagle Union. A bit more tanky than Baltimore, and you can run Bremerton with carriers and not have her evasion tank, like Baltimore, who which is the more DPS mode when shoot with carriers. Next up is Skybound Horatio, aka the event I started on and did not get Richelieu. Jeanne d'Arc is okay. She has a shield, but otherwise nothing too standoutish. She's got some survivability. She used in PvP for a while. There's a burn that affects herself that she gets buffed when she has the burn, but she's also taking damage. Accurate to the historical figure? Yes. Bit of pain to deal with in the game? Yes. You have the Algeria gun. Decent little HE gun for your heavy cruisers. You don't have one else. And Northern Overture, get Chapaev. She is really good at killing destroyer bosses. She does extra damage to them. She reduces their evasion, which if they're destroyer, they can have a lot of evasion. So when we get a DD Extreme Challenge Mode boss, I expect to see her in some of the fleets that people put up. And her gun is quite good too. It's HE, quite powerful. I don't know where it stacks along with the Seattle gun and the improved Seattle gun, but it's quite good. And then the penultimate one, talk about the coming soon too, is Aurora Noctis. You can get Hermione here. Dido class number 3, or whatever she is. And that's what I think of her, is Dido class number 3. She basically wants to be with other Royal Navy ships, not in the foremost Vanguard position. Nothing too spectacular, nothing to recommend here. In the coming soon, wait, half the ship, is Inverted Orthonaut. It is a Iron Blood event with Prince Heinrich, but the ship available in the War Archives will be U-37. Now, the CN and Japanese servers both have her already, but she is quite decent. If you want to run your Iron Blood Wolfpack fleet, there you go. Good against light armor enemies. I run her. What are the other two? U-96 and U-101, and it's really potent for light armor enemies, and you can swap out U-37 for U-81. You want to do that for carriers. And so that's all for the EX stages, and most of my recommendations. Obviously, go check the wiki. There's probably some other ones, relatively new. You want to get some collection up or get tech points. There you go. You can kind of run through these and see what you want to grab. Now, next up is the SP stages, these like mini events. So first up is Strive, Wish, and Strategize. You can get Prince of Wales. You can also get her from the exchange, but mostly for collection, she wants to run with Eagle Union ships. But other than that, this is the King George V gun. Yes, so King George V also wants this gun. Get that for her there. But nothing too much to recommend except for, you can get Prince of Wales and Vampire for collection purposes. After that, nothing recommending Pursuit of Graf Spee, Glorious Battlefront, Glorious, and I believe that is Ardent. Those two. Barracuda's not bad. SP2, where is she? Okay, well. And then Passionate Polaris, probably the most recommended SP stage, I'd say, just because the Cosmic Kick is very good. It buffs evasion and speed. It also makes ships a Muse ship. This part's not as important, but if you want to run some Muse ships with some other ships, and the Muse ships have skills that require multiple Muse ships, or they buff Muse ships, and you can slap this on someone, make them a Muse ship, quote unquote. Yeah, you can do that. Otherwise, just grab that, do your 60 runs, and just get out. Pass, 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 pass. Here's Unison. Pretty much the same thing as the other Muse event. Celestial Body. I spent HP, makes them a Muse ship. Not as recommended as the Passionate Polaris, but I believe the Ryusei is also available, so you can hopefully grab Ryusei while you grab the Celestial Body. And for the rest, yeah, you don't get the ships from the clears from them. So hopefully this was helpful. Hope you found it useful. If you did, leave a like, share it. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye.